Hey there, welcome to the Chronicle Pregame Show. I'm Ryan Hoerger alongside Brian Pollack. Here we get to set up for Tuesday night's big-time showdown in Chicago, Duke and Kentucky. Number 5 Blue Devils against the number 2 Wildcats. We're going to tip it off at 7:30 p.m. from the United Center in Chicago as part of the State Farm's Champions Classic. Now, Brian, when you look at this matchup, it's two teams that look vastly different from the way these two teams finished the season a year ago. Kentucky's entire starting lineup is gone, as is the platoon system for John Calipari. Blue Devils had to replace 4 of their 5 starters. Only the combination of Matt Jones and Emil Jefferson returned with starting experience for Duke. But Duke seemed to have no problem stepping in and plugging and playing with new pieces, especially Grayson Allen taking a big step up from his freshman year last year.
Yeah, absolutely. The sophomore looked right at home in his first 2 career starts this weekend, combining for 54 points, second most ever in Duke history through the first 2 games of the season, just behind Johnny Dawkins' 55 in 1983. Grayson notched 26 against Siena in the season opener Friday, and then bested that with a career-high 28 against Bryan Saturday night. The Jacksonville, Florida native is combined to go 17 of 18 from the free throw line so far in his first 2 games. So hitting shots from all over the floor, but also getting to the line with ease, which should help him against a Kentucky defense that's going to be a little more athletic than the ones I think he saw this weekend.
Yeah, definitely. You look at the players that Kentucky lost from the season ago, Karl-Anthony Towns and Willie Trillacolli-Stein. The big 7-footers are both gone for the Wildcats, but they took out Marcus Lee, who's a big body at 6'9", and a new freshman for the Wildcats, 6'11", Skal Labissiere. Can really do it all on the floor. Had a really strong game in his second career outing this past weekend for the Wildcats. Head coach John Calipari also, like Coach K, has been had great success on the recruiting trail of late. And so Labissiere is definitely a guy to watch for inside. Can really do it all. Really long body, really athletic. But he's not the only newcomer for the Wildcats. Obviously, they got to replace a lot of kids. So when you look at Jamal Murray and Isaiah Briscoe, 2 really talented guards in the backcourt, and team up with Tyler Ulis, the sophomore, returns from last season as well. Briscoe, Brian, you want to talk about his game? Sat out the opener, but then really came on strong in his first career appearance this past weekend.
Yeah, he sure did. There was a little bit of they were a little concerned in the preseason if he'd be ready to go at the start. Sat out the team's first game and actually just saw his first action in their second. Didn't start, but he sure made quite an impact. Grabbed 12 rebounds despite his 6'3" frame. So that's going to be an interesting play for the Blue Devils, they certainly have the height, but maybe not as much of the build and bulk down low that Briscoe can provide. So if he maybe matches up against Brandon Ingram for the Blue Devils, he gives up 6 inches or so, but that physicality might serve him well against the Blue Devils' lengthy swingman.
Yeah, we might also see some Derek Willis on Brandon Ingram as well. Derek Willis is about 6'8", 6'9" for the Wildcats, and he's really he's lone 3-point threat on this year's team, at least in the early going. Wildcats don't shoot it that well from deep overall, but 30% of the team. Duke really caught fire against Bryant on Saturday night, shooting 13 of 26 from beyond the arc. So for that reason, maybe you expect the Blue Devils to have a little bit of an edge on the perimeter if they continue to knock down their shots, which is going to be harder against a Kentucky defense that's very much more active and taller as well. So with that said, I think that's about it from here at the Chronicle Pregame Show. For Brian Pollack, I'm Ryan Hoerger. Be sure to keep up with us live from Chicago on Tuesday night at Chronicle Sports, at Duke Basketball on Twitter, and with our Blue Zone blog at DukeChronicle.com. We'll see you guys later.